Earth had always been a quiet planet. From space, it looked like a small blue jewel floating in darkness. For centuries, humans looked at the stars with wonder, dreaming of life beyond their world. But humans had also been careful. They avoided the wars and politics of the larger galaxy. Earth stayed hidden, a peaceful home among billions of worlds. Yet now, everything was about to change. In the heart of the United Terran Council building, leaders from all over Earth gathered. The hall was wide and bright, with tall glass walls showing the sky. Holograms of stars and planets spun in the air above them, displaying the vast galaxy that stretched beyond Earth's borders. Ambassador Leora Kane stood at the podium. She was calm, but her voice carried a strength that could shake mountains. "The time has come," she said. "Terran space is now forbidden. No alien fleet, no foreign empire may enter. Not one ship, not one soldier. Earth will defend her home, and all humans will stand united." The words echoed through the hall. Outside, millions of people were watching live broadcasts. Families held each other tightly. Children's eyes widened in awe. They could feel, in a small way, that history was being made. For the first time, humans were not hiding. They were declaring themselves strong, proud, and unafraid. In the darkness of space, messages began to travel. The Galactic Empire, a vast and powerful civilization that ruled hundreds of worlds, received the news. The Empire's leaders frowned. They were used to planets surrendering quietly. But Earth's words were different. They carried courage, pride, and determination. For the first time, the Empire hesitated. Could a small, seemingly fragile planet really resist them? Back on Earth, life went on. Satellites blinked in orbit, cities bustled with people, and children played in parks. But deep underground, humans were preparing. Engineers, scientists, and strategists worked tirelessly. Every ship, weapon, and shield was ready. Every citizen was ready to defend their home. Terran space was no longer just a planet and its orbit. It was a fortress, and every human was its guardian. Ambassador Kane walked through the streets of the capital city later that evening. People cheered for her as she passed, but she did not wave or smile much. Her mind was heavy with responsibility. She knew this declaration was more than words. It was a promise that every human life would matter, that Earth's freedom would never be given up. In quiet homes, parents explained to children what the declaration meant. Earth is saying, "We are strong, and no one will take us." Children looked up at the sky, imagining huge alien fleets, enormous ships, and laser battles. Some were afraid, some were excited, but all understood one thing: their home would fight, and they were a part of it. The first night after the declaration, Earth's cities glowed with hope and determination. In every home, lights stayed on late. People whispered about what might come next. Could humans really stand against the Empire? Could one planet survive against billions of stars? Deep down, everyone knew the answer. Earth had courage. Earth had heart. And sometimes heart was stronger than weapons, stronger than numbers, stronger than fear itself. Somewhere far away, in the dark void of space, alien admirals stared at their screens. They saw Earth's message and felt a ripple of unease. "They are just a small world," one said. "How dangerous can they be?" But the doubt was there. Humans had something no other species had: love for their home, a unity that could not be broken, and a determination that burned brighter than any star. And on that quiet blue planet, under the soft glow of moonlight, humans slept knowing one thing for certain: their world was theirs. Their space was theirs. And nothing, not even the mightiest empire in the galaxy, would enter Terran space without their permission. The declaration was made. The world had spoken. Humanity's story had begun, and the galaxy would never forget it. Weeks passed after Earth declared Terran space forbidden. Life continued in cities and towns, but the air was tense. People felt a quiet nervousness. Something was coming from the stars, something big and dangerous. Scientists had detected enormous ships approaching the solar system. The Galactic Empire, known for conquering worlds without mercy, was on its way. The humans had never faced a threat like this. The alien fleet was enormous, stretching across the blackness of space. Its ships were dark, sharp, and cold, glimmering with deadly weapons. People on Earth called it the Shadow Armada. No one knew exactly how many ships were coming, but every report filled humans with fear and determination. Commander Elias Thorne stood on the bridge of the Terran Vanguard, Earth's fastest and most advanced warship. He was tall, with eyes that had seen many crises, but never like this. The first signal from the aliens came without warning, a cold voice that resonated in every human receiver. "You have refused us entry. You will comply, or we will take by force what you deny." Elias's hands clenched the railing. He turned to his crew, a group of humans trained to face any danger. "They think we are weak," he said. "They think a single planet can be conquered. Let's show them they are wrong." The crew exchanged looks. Fear danced in their eyes, but it was mixed with courage. They had trained for years, preparing for a war most people thought would never come. Now it was here. And there was no turning back. On Earth, families gathered around screens. Children held their parents' hands, asking questions they didn't fully understand. "Will the aliens come?" they whispered. Parents answered as best they could. "Earth will protect us. We are strong. We will be safe." Deep down, they felt the truth of their words. Humans had survived worse. Humans had survived because they never gave up. In the orbital command stations, engineers worked tirelessly. Every ship, every satellite, every weapon was checked again and again. Terran, scientists modified energy shields, created new defensive tactics, and developed systems to detect enemy weaknesses. Every mind worked for one purpose: to defend home. Meanwhile, in space, the Shadow Armada moved closer. Their ships glinted against the stars, a threat that could destroy continents. Yet the humans did not falter. The small Terran fleet launched a patrol, sending out scouts to observe enemy positions. Every pilot knew the risk. Every mission could be the last. Yet they flew into darkness, knowing Earth's safety depended on them. The first warning shots came quickly. Alien drones scanned Terran ships, probing for weaknesses. A single energy beam from an alien destroyer burned through space, barely missing a Terran fighter. The human pilot shouted over the comms, adrenaline racing. "We are not afraid. We fight for Earth." News screens on Earth broadcast every detail. People watched as brave humans maneuvered their ships with skill and precision. They were smaller than the enemy, but faster, smarter, and determined. Courage lit up every human face. The message was clear. Earth would defend itself, no matter the cost. Elias looked out at the stars. The darkness seemed endless, yet it also felt alive with possibility. "We are small," he said softly, "but small does not mean weak. They may have more ships, more weapons, more power, but we have something they do not. We have home, we have love, and that is stronger than anything in the galaxy." The first signal from the Shadow Armada was only the beginning. Earth had spoken, the humans had responded, and now the galaxy was watching. Humanity's courage would be tested in ways no one could imagine. Yet deep inside every human heart, a fire burned, brighter than fear. Earth would not surrender, not now, not ever. And somewhere, in the blackness of space, the aliens noticed it too. Humans were different. Humans would fight. Humans would endure. And the galaxy would soon learn that underestimating Earth was the greatest mistake it could make. The calm of space shattered one cold morning when the Shadow Armada struck. Their fighters came like lightning, slicing silently through the void. Terran sensors screamed alarms. On Earth, every monitor flickered, showing the approach of ships far larger and more powerful than anything humans had faced. Commander Elias Thorne gripped the railing of the Terran Vanguard, staring at the endless black dotted with alien lights. His crew was tense but ready. They had trained for this, yet the reality was different from any simulation. Fear was natural. Courage was a choice. And now, the moment to choose had arrived. "Prepare for engagement," Elias shouted. "We fight not because we want war, but because we protect home." The Terran fleet surged forward, a small but determined force against a massive alien horde. Laser beams arced through space like streaks of fire, striking ships that glowed and burned under impact. Explosions blossomed in the void, silent but devastating. Smoke and debris drifted between the stars, reminders of the danger. On Earth, people watched in awe and horror. Children pressed their faces to screens, eyes wide, hearts pounding. Parents whispered prayers while gripping their children. Every citizen felt the battle as if they were in space themselves, their love for Earth turning fear into pride. Despite being smaller and outgunned, human ships moved with remarkable precision. They twisted and spun through enemy fire, using speed and clever maneuvers to strike back. Engineers had built them to adapt quickly, to fight smart instead of just strong. Every hit counted. Every human life mattered. Elias shouted commands over the comms. "Flank from the left, cover our retreat, focus on their destroyers." His voice was steady, even as his chest pounded. He knew that this fight could define humanity's future. If Earth fell, everything would be lost. But he also knew the spirit of humans could never be destroyed. Among the Terran pilots was a young woman named Mara Lee. She had never flown in a real battle before. Her hands shook, but her eyes were sharp. She remembered her family, her city, her planet. And she remembered the words of Ambassador Kane. "We fight not because we hate, but because we love." With that love in her heart, she dove into the enemy ranks, dodging blasts and striking where she could. The battle raged for hours. Ships on both sides burned, twisted metal spinning in the void. Terran forces suffered losses, but every ship that survived became a symbol of defiance. Every human who stood tall became a testament to courage. Even the Shadow Armada began to notice. This was not a fragile planet. This was a world that fought back, every heart united in one purpose. Back on Earth, the soundless explosions of space were felt in hearts everywhere. Communities lit candles and prayed, sent messages of hope to those fighting above, and whispered encouragement to pilots they might never know. They were part of the fight too. Every citizen was a shield. Every prayer a weapon, every thought a vow. Earth would not be conquered. Hours turned into night, and the first clash ended. Terran ships, battered but unbroken, returned to orbit. Thousands of lives had been risked, many lost. Yet in every human heart, there was pride. Humanity had faced the galaxy's mightiest fleet and survived. Elias stood on the bridge, looking at the stars still scattered with alien debris. "They think they can break us," he said, softly. "But Earth is not just a planet, it is home. And home is something no one can take without a fight." Somewhere in the vast blackness of space, alien commanders watched their fleet retreat. Doubt had crept into their minds. This world, small and quiet, had shown strength they did not expect. It was only the first clash. Yet already, Earth's message was clear. Humanity would not surrender, not now, not ever. And below, on the blue planet spinning silently, children and parents slept with hearts full of pride. The first battle was over, but the war for Terran space had only begun. The first clash had shaken the galaxy. Reports of Earth's unexpected defense spread quickly through the Galactic Empire. Commanders and politicians who had assumed humans were weak now spoke in hushed tones, debating strategies and contingencies. No one had ever faced a world that fought like Earth. Its people were small, its technology modest compared to the Empire, yet its courage and unity were unmatched. On the Empire's flagship, towering corridors echoed with urgent discussions. Admirals paced, maps of star systems glowing under their fingertips. "They survived our first strike," one said, his voice low and tense. "They are not ordinary. Their tactics are unpredictable. We must reconsider our approach." Meanwhile, on Earth, the world held its breath. Families huddled in their homes, looking at communication screens, listening to updates from the Terran Vanguard and other fleets. The human spirit remained unbroken. Children drew pictures of ships, imagining the battles in space while parents quietly ensured that safety measures were in place. Everyone knew the galaxy was watching, and everyone understood the stakes. The Empire would not leave easily. Ambassador Leora Kane addressed the United Terran Council and, through broadcast, every citizen on Earth. Her voice was steady, filled with conviction that reached every corner of the planet. "The galaxy thinks we are fragile," she said. "They think a single world cannot resist. But they do not understand what it means to fight for home. Our courage is not born from anger but from love, for our families, our cities, our people. And love is stronger than any weapon they can bring." In orbital command stations, engineers and scientists worked tirelessly. New shields were reinforced, weapon systems upgraded, and defensive strategies revised. Every calculation, every test, every modification was done with a single goal: to keep Earth safe. Humanity's ingenuity was unmatched, not because they had the largest ships or the deadliest weapons, but because they never stopped learning, never stopped adapting, and never stopped caring. Commander Elias Thorne briefed his fleet. "They will try again," he said, "and they will be stronger. But we have seen what we are capable of. We are not just defending Earth. We are showing the galaxy that humans are different. They do not understand unity. They do not understand heart. And that is why we will survive." In cities, people whispered to one another. Street vendors paused their work to watch news updates. School children practiced drills with new excitement, and neighbors shared words of encouragement. Every citizen was part of the defense. Every heart beat with determination. Every mind understood that survival depended not only on pilots and ships but on hope, courage, and love. The Empire, frustrated and surprised, sent envoys and signals trying to negotiate. They offered trade, technology, even alliances, but Earth refused. Humanity's answer was simple and unwavering. "Terran space is forbidden. You may not enter. You may not take what is ours." Some commanders of the Empire doubted their leaders. "This is madness," one whispered. "No single world has ever resisted us for long. Yet here, humans are unyielding." They watched as Terran ships patrolled their own space with confidence and precision. Even damaged vessels returned to orbit, repaired quickly, ready to defend again. And on Earth, ordinary people went about extraordinary lives. Farmers harvested crops under distant alarms, teachers guided children through uncertainty, and doctors cared for those injured in drills or accidents. Life continued, but with a new meaning. Every day was a choice to stand, to defend, to be human. That night, Elias looked at the stars, dotted with distant alien ships preparing to strike again. "They think they can break us," he murmured, "but they have not felt what it is to fight for home. They have not felt love for a planet that gives everything to its people, and until they do, they will never win." The galaxy had begun to notice a small blue world that refused to bow. Earth's message was clear. Humans were not just survivors. They were warriors in a war fought not for conquest, but for love, courage, and the right to be free. And every heart on Earth knew that the coming battles would demand more than skill. They would demand everything. Months passed since the first battle. Terran space was alive with constant preparation and vigilance. The humans had learned quickly. Each encounter with the Shadow Armada taught them something new: how to dodge, how to strike, how to survive. Every pilot, engineer, and soldier adapted, improving faster than any alien force could predict. Earth was no longer just a planet. It had become a school of strategy, courage, and endurance. Commander Elias Thorne stood on the bridge of the Terran Vanguard, watching reports from multiple battles. "They are strong," he said, voice steady but tense. "But strength alone cannot win. They do not understand us. They do not understand what it means to fight for home." His crew listened silently, hearts filled with determination. They knew he was right. Humans were small, But they had something the Shadow Armada could never have: unity, love for home, and relentless courage. In orbit, smaller Terran ships darted between larger alien vessels. They moved like shadows, striking weak points, confusing the enemy, and retreating before the aliens could respond. Engineers on Earth worked tirelessly, sending updated battle strategies to the fleet. Scientists created new energy shields, faster engines, and advanced targeting systems. Every invention, every calculation, every idea was dedicated to defending Terran space. On the surface of Earth, children drew pictures of the fleet and the battles. Families shared stories of bravery. People planted trees in ruined neighborhoods, rebuilt homes and repaired roads, showing that life continued even in the shadow of war. The world had learned that survival was not only about fighting. It was about hope, resilience, and the courage to continue living. A critical moment came when the Shadow Armada attempted a surprise strike on the capital. Thousands of ships moved at once, aiming to overwhelm the Terran defenses. Earth's people held their breath as alarms blared. The skies were filled with streaks of energy and fire, a silent war visible only on screens and in hearts. Elias made a bold decision. He led a small group of ships into a risky maneuver. "We draw them into the trap," he told his team. "It is dangerous. Many may not return. But if it works, Earth will win a decisive victory." The pilots nodded, fear mixed with determination. They knew the stakes. They knew their home depended on their courage. The ambush began. Terran ships lured the alien fleet into a narrow asteroid field. The larger, less maneuverable alien ships collided, got trapped, or were struck by human fire from unexpected angles. Explosions lit up the void, turning darkness into flashes of hope and fear. The small fleet moved with precision, striking where the enemy was weakest, forcing the Armada to retreat in confusion. Back on Earth, citizens cheered, cried, and prayed. They had witnessed their planet's ingenuity and courage triumph over overwhelming power. The message was clear: Earth could not be taken by force. Every human understood deep in their RTS that their love for home had become a weapon stronger than any laser or shield. Elias watched the retreating alien ships. His chest was heavy with relief and grief. Lives had been lost. Ships had been destroyed. But humanity had proven something extraordinary. Earth was not fragile. It was alive, clever, and unbroken. Humans had shown the galaxy that courage and unity could change the course of wars. In quiet moments, families lit candles in memory of those lost. Streets filled with laughter and tears as people embraced one another. Children ran freely again, and the world seemed to breathe. Every victory, however small, reminded humans why they fought. Not for glory, but for the love of their home. Elias turned to his crew, a soft smile breaking through his fatigue. "They think this will break us," he said. "But every time we rise, every time we survive, every time we protect Earth, we prove that strength alone cannot conquer a heart united. We fight not because we must, but because we love. And that is the turning point. That is our power." The galaxy began to take notice. Earth was no longer a small, quiet planet. It was a force to be reckoned with, a symbol of courage, resilience, and love. And deep in every human heart, a quiet promise was made. No matter the enemy, no matter the cost, Terran space would remain forbidden. The battles had slowed, but the cost was heavy. Cities on Earth bore scars from preparations and strikes. Though most damage had been avoided, families mourned lost loved ones, pilots, engineers, soldiers, even volunteers who had given their lives to protect Terran space. Every death weighed on the hearts of those left behind. Freedom, humans learned, was never free. Commander Elias Thorne walked quietly through a repair station where crews worked tirelessly to restore battered ships. The smell of burning metal and ozone filled the air. Mechanics moved with steady hands, faces tired but determined. Elias watched them and realized that courage was not just about fighting, it was about endurance. Every repaired ship Every saved life, every effort to continue was proof of human strength. On Earth, Ambassador Leora Kane addressed the United Terran Council. Her voice was soft but firm. "We have defended our home," she said, "but we have also paid the price. Every life lost, every scar earned, reminds us of what we protect and why. Our freedom is precious because it is fragile, and yet, even in loss, we find strength." Children walked among the rubble of their neighborhoods, planting new trees and flowers. Parents worked to rebuild homes, schools, and hospitals. Even in grief, humans showed resilience. They understood that love for home was more powerful than any fear. Every act of rebuilding, every moment of hope was a declaration. Earth would endure no matter what. Elias returned to the bridge of the Terran vanguard. Reports came in of new alien activity, but the humans were ready. They had learned from every encounter, adapting faster than their enemy expected. Shields had been improved, weapons upgraded, and strategies refined. Humanity's persistence and ingenuity had become as much a weapon as any laser or missile. Yet, victory felt bittersweet. The faces of those lost haunted the survivors. Pilots, who had flown bravely, now had empty seats at the mess hall. Engineers who had risked their lives were gone. Families on Earth remembered children who would never grow up and parents who would never see their loved ones return. Every triumph carried the shadow of sacrifice. Elias looked out at the stars, thinking of the countless lives that had been risked. "They think war is about victory," he said quietly. "But war is about love. Love for those we protect, love for the home we call ours. That is the true cost of freedom, and we pay it willingly, because Earth is worth it." Back on Earth, communities gathered to honor the fallen. Candles lit up streets and parks, and people held moments of silence. Songs were sung, stories were shared, and tears fell freely. Yet amid the sorrow there was pride. Humans had faced the galaxy's greatest power and survived. Humanity had learned that even in loss, hope could grow stronger. Young pilots trained tirelessly, inspired by the courage of those who came before them. Scientists worked day and night, developing new technology to protect Terran space. Teachers reminded children of the bravery of ordinary people, showing that heroism was not just in battle but in living with courage and love. Elias returned to the bridge once more. He watched the horizon where Earth's atmosphere glimmered like a small blue star. "We have lost much," he whispered, "but we have gained something greater: knowledge, courage, unity, and a spirit that cannot be broken. Every sacrifice makes us stronger. Every loss reminds us why we fight. And so the price of freedom was paid, not with hatred, not with cruelty, but with love, resilience, and unwavering determination. Earth had survived, but it had also changed. Its people understood the weight of defending home. They knew that peace was fragile, that courage required sacrifice, and that love for one's world could defy even the mightiest empire. The galaxy watched, and some began to understand what humanity already knew: freedom was worth any price. And the humans of Earth, standing among the stars, had already paid that price with hearts full of courage, determination, and hope. Years had passed since Earth declared Terran space forbidden. The battles had ended, but the memory of war lingered in every corner of the planet. Cities had been rebuilt, forests replanted, and oceans cleaned. Yet the scars of courage and sacrifice were never forgotten. Humanity had changed. It had grown stronger, braver, and wiser. Children played under the sun, unaware of the fear that had once gripped their world. They laughed freely, their joy a testament to the battles fought for them. Teachers told stories of pilots, engineers, and families who had given everything to protect home. Every story carried a lesson. Courage is born not from strength alone, but from love, unity, and the willingness to fight for what matters most. Commander Elias Thorne, older now, stood on a cliff overlooking the ocean. Ships glimmered in the distance, a reminder that Earth's fleet remained ready, vigilant, and strong. He thought of the first battle, of the fear in his heart, and of the young pilots who had soared into danger without hesitation. A small smile formed on his face. Humanity had survived. Humanity had triumphed. Humanity had become a legend. In the capital city, Ambassador Leora Kane addressed the citizens on the anniversary of Terran Space's declaration. Her voice, calm and strong, echoed through the streets and over holographic screens across every continent. "We did not fight to be remembered," she said. "We fought because we are human. We fought for our families, our children, our home. And in that fight, we discovered something greater than victory. We discovered ourselves." People stood silently, eyes shining. Some held candles, others held their children close. The silence spoke louder than any applause. It was a silence full of gratitude, pride, and understanding. Every citizen felt the weight and value of what had been achieved. Earth had defended itself not for glory, but for the right to exist freely, and the galaxy had learned an important lesson. Do not underestimate humanity. Ships from other civilizations now kept their distance, respecting the boundaries of Terran space. They spoke in hushed tones of the small planet that had refused to bow. Tales spread of human ingenuity, bravery, and heart. Earth became a symbol of courage, a beacon of hope in a galaxy too often ruled by fear and conquest. On quiet nights, families would look up at the stars and wonder, could humans ever leave their planet to explore the galaxy, now that the galaxy knew of their power? Perhaps someday. But for now, they had learned that home was worth defending, that love could be stronger than any weapon, and that courage was a force beyond measure. Elias walked among the people, seeing children fly small, model ships in the streets, imagining the battles they would never have to fight. He saw veterans teaching young recruits, scientists mentoring eager students, and ordinary citizens rebuilding neighborhoods with hope and determination. Every act was a continuation of the legacy of courage. He stopped and looked at the horizon, where the sun touched the ocean. "Earth is ours," he whispered. "Not because we are the strongest, not because we are the largest, but because we refused to give up. We defended home, and in doing so, we changed the galaxy forever." Even in the quiet, the lessons of the past were alive. Humanity had learned that freedom demanded sacrifice, that courage required unity, and that love for one's home could make ordinary beings into legends. Terran space was forbidden, not because humans were cruel or ruthless, but because they were unbreakable. And so Earth spun silently in the vast blackness of space, a small blue jewel among billions of stars. But it was more than a planet. It was a symbol, a promise, a story of a people who had stood together, faced the galaxy's mightiest empire, and proven that the heart of humanity was stronger than any force in the universe. The galaxy would remember Earth, not for its size, not for its wealth, but for its courage. And generations of humans looking up at the stars would know that they inherited a world protected by hearts unyielding, spirits unbroken, and love unending. Terran space would remain forbidden forever, and humanity would remain free, proud, and immortal in legend.